very bulky team. Both teams here, for the most part, relatively versatile, really great coverage moves, things that have a lot of flexibility. So it's really hard to call either of these matchups when we see these Pokemon.
Yeah, both of these teams are very solid meta. I think my favorite Pokemon out of all 12 here, though, is that Noctowl because of its versatility, its bulk, and its very solid moveset with Sky Attack and Shadow Ball, allowing it to have very great coverage against the meta.
Trent just stared into my soul there, Alpha Phoebe.
It did, and what was the soul read?
Boom, 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 boom. Scared.
Oh, no.
All right, well, guys, we're going to be facing off here very soon, Hot Pocket versus Trent. Alpha Phoebe, are there any Pokemon that stand out to you as some core breakers on either side?
So aside from that Noctowl on Hot Pocket side, let's go over to Trent, and I think that Altaria does have a lot of solid play against Hot Pocket's team. Of course, it doesn't want to see the Galarian Stunfisk and the Azumarill, but it's pretty solid against the other 4 Pokemon on Hot Pocket's side. And then you want to pair it with something. What can beat that Galarian Stunfisk and the Azumarill?
The Galarian Stunfisk and the Azumarill, the Trevenant. All right, well, I think that was going to be the Pokemon I wanted to highlight specifically. Hot Pocket, actually, I think his Azumarill looks quite nice, but really the only thing it needs to watch out for is any Pokemon that has access to Grass. We talked about the Trevenant already, but the Lickitung is going to be the other threat as well. We have seen lots of Lickitung, lots of Noctowl on Hot Pocket's side, but I think from Trent's side, he's really enjoyed playing this Trevenant time and time again. In fact, sometimes even lining up Trevenant versus something like an Altaria. No Altaria here on Hot Pocket's side. He's got the other flyer, the Noctowl, and that is going to be deadly for this Trevenant. Absolutely devastating. One of the toughest Pokemon it can go up against, double resisting the Shadow Claws, single resisting the Sea Bombs. Thank you, Alpha Phoebe. But guys, we're moving right in here to game number 1. We've got Hot Pocket on the left, Trent on the right. We have Galarian Stunfisk into Lickitung. A favorable matchup for Galarian Stunfisk, but anything can happen here in this loser's finals.
Hot Pocket's going to be very happy that this Galarian Stunfisk did manage to avoid that Swampert that Trent does have in the back. It'll be interesting to see how Trent plays it out. Does he want to try to realign these Pokemon so he can get a more favorable matchup? Very interesting. A shield on the first Earthquake.
Yeah, probably the most likely Earthquake that we're going to see. Going ahead and opting to say, hey, I want to go ahead and block all of this Earthquake damage early. So we see a Protect Shield come out from Trent and able to now get to this Power Whip. This is only neutral damage, but let's see if Hot Pocket wants to match shields. No, goes ahead and lets this one through. Now, after all these licks, it's going to be getting closer and closer to Body Slam range.
Yeah, with that Lickitung not having same type attack bonus on that Power Whip, I do not mind that Power Whip going through. A second Earthquake comes through, does a lot of good neutral damage. We're going to see a slight overfarm on this Lickitung, probably going for a Power Whip right before the Earthquake is reached.
All right, well, here's a decision for Hot Pocket, but makes the decision very quickly. Going to be letting this Power Whip go through, happy with the shield advantage. Lickitung didn't just have the Power Whip, though, actually has some additional energy as well. Going to be coming into this next matchup with a decent advantage, but no, we've got the Noctowl and an immediate swap out here into this Swampert. I think trying to potentially get this Noctowl on the side of Hot Pocket to swap out, which would then align the Galarian Stunfisk back in there with that Noctowl. But no, not taking the bait here. Hot Pocket staying in with the Noctowl, going to be launching the Sky Attack versus the Swampert.
One thing that I don't think we quite covered is that the Swampert on Trent's side really doesn't have that many threats on Hot Pocket's side. It doesn't want to see that Lickitung because of that Power Whip, but other than that, that's the only Grass-type coverage that Hot Pocket's teams has.
No Trevenant, yeah, that's probably going to be its biggest threat. So this Noctowl does have a pretty solid matchup, so I'm not that unsurprised to see Trent swap it in, knowing that it's more of the neutral matchup. But again, great recognition from Hot Pocket, understanding that, hey, this is the better matchup that I want to stay in. There's probably something like a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. Great recognition.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly Hot Pocket decides to swap out once the Pokemon is brought in. I'd be surprised to see the Lickitung because it would need to throw a charge move in order to knock out. We do actually see the Lickitung, and it immediately swapped into the Sableye. This is actually pretty good for Trent because he's able to get a non-resisted Power Whip into the Sableye, which pulls a shield.
Okay, and I do like the shield from Hot Pocket here, knowing that, hey, I did not catch a Body Slam, most likely going to be throwing this Power Whip and able to shield up quite a bit of neutral damage. At this point, this is a relatively neutral matchup. Both of these trainers still with one Protect Shield, going straight for these foul plays. No need to throw the return in this scenario, but what we do have some question marks is how Trent is going to play this Galarian Stunfisk. Do you go for the Rock Slide bait? Do you go straight for the Earthquake? Let's take a look here, Alpha Phoebe.
It's a lot easier to play this from Trent's side because all you have to do is to decide when to throw each charge move. You don't have to make shielding calls. You see Hot Pocket not very happy with letting a heavy-hitting Earthquake go through. You see actually great timing by Hot Pocket, trying to make sure that Trent cannot throw that Rock Slide, but Trent no shielding, thinking that he can survive this foul play and still get a charge move off.
Okay, and is, oh no, unable to get to that Rock Slide. Does farm down here, but this does provide Lickitung to be in a really nice position, still with the shield, to get these neutral licks coming through versus the Dark Ghost type Sableye. It's going to be a race to the finish, see if it's able to get to that next charge move, but no, we're going to come right in with this Noctowl, able to get to the Sky Attack before Lickitung is able to reach its Body Slam. This should be enough, Alpha Phoebe.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough position for Trent there because if he had thrown the Rock Slide, I bet Hot Pocket would have no-shielded, come in with the Noctowl. You're not really afraid of those mud shots. You would have gotten a lot of energy on the Noctowl, and the Noctowl would have been really close to that Sky Attack by the time